Okay, welcome back to the Ulverston Victoria Chess Championship. This is the final game of this little 4-game series right now. And as it stands, we have Leo in the lead with 2 points and Chris on 1. If Chris wins this, it's the only way he can carry this fight for any longer and bring this to the Armageddon Games, which breaks this tie. And these Armageddon Games have where everything's the same except they'll have different times because they will bid for the lower time. Bid for the lower time, you get the black pieces, which gives you the win if a draw happens. Now, the thing is, earlier in this playoff tournament, we have already had an Armageddon game between these two guys, where Chris outbids Leo by 1 second, bidding 9 minutes and 23 seconds, whereas Leo still kept the full 10 minutes, but Leo won anyways. Now, we're joined by Mr. Mac, Harry and Emily this time. Now, we're a bit nervous for this game here. We might want to see perhaps the champion already. We might want to see this game go all the distance, perhaps. Because if this game does go the distance to this Armageddon game, Chris even may win that Armageddon game. we would see quite a large audience next Monday due to some open days and stuff like that. Now, we'll bring you to the live board right now, where the two players are just waiting right now. We'll test everything is working fine again, just before we start making all these moves again. Okay, they're adjusting their pieces, and what do we expect to see from these two players? It's probably going to be the same e4, e5 opening, followed by knight f3, knight c6, possibly a Roy Lopez or even an Italian game. And I'll check if my mic's on actually. I'll disable my mic. What is the piano? It's like a quiet, yeah. Okay, I think let's start and reminds them. It's a reminder that it's going to start in a bit. Yeah, let's start the game now. Yeah, let's remind them to start the game. Hopefully this hasn't frozen again. It hasn't so far. Right, this is good. Okay, test the mic. Okay, we're expecting them to start. And please don't freeze up. Hopefully we see this handshake between them in the last game will start. Here we go. Handshake. Start the game. Here we go. Standard e4, e5, knight f3, knight c6. Now bishop c4. Oh, knight c3. So we're probably seeing a four knights game instead. Or, okay, so probably it looks like an Italian in reverse for many of us, where, well, white does obviously remove ahead instead. And he's takes. And yeah, you can take back the knight, but you'll get forked straight in the middle anyways. And basically the material is quite level anyways. Let me see, queen f6. Already threatening checkmate with this move here. And probably it's best idea, yeah, to bring back this knight. Of course, yeah, bring back this knight or even bring it back here. Knight d3 instead. So chasing after, so he hasn't released the piece yet, but he's committed to it. So he's defending this square here crucially, but also harassing this bishop here. I don't like this move particularly though, because you do block this central pawn here, which you do want to eventually push. And yes, this bishop can still slide back, and you'd still maintain this threat of checkmate on f2. Tell you what, Harry, would you like to come up here and share some of your ideas? We'd like to see a lot more of this.
I mean, you can get a bishop for a knight, which is well, no, yeah, you can get a bishop for a knight, which is bishops are better than knights.
Is your idea knight e5 by any chance? Yeah. Because you immediately just fork the two, and I guess you could probably bring this queen here anyways to defend. What moves were just placed? That was d6. Wait. Where was also d6? Hang on. Wait.
He went queen F.
Oh, so it's probably
No, he didn't. What did he go
it was
F3?
bishop e2, then d6, and then I think now he's gone bishop f3. Which I think everything looks okay so far. It's good we're keeping up with this, but then this bishop does immediately get attacked. And where are you going to put it this time?
He can take with a knight. Yeah, he took
Yep, and there pretty much a trade is forced already. And if anything, this is probably a bit better for Leo. He wants to trade down material and steer this towards a draw. And again,
he went
now
far.
this is probably the best time to launch this attack. Now, where do you put your queen as well? Where is any good suggestions, Harry?
Um,
I mean,
not really.
yeah. I mean, it's either you could probably retake with this queen here, or this pawn here when this bishop gets taken by this knight. And he goes for just sliding it out the way here. And what's interesting though is the engine is not suggesting to immediately take this bishop, but rather play d4, I guess. It's just a bit strange. It looks a bit scary at first that this pawn is under attack so far.
Castle. Bike.
Yeah, castling was also a popular option. Now knight f6, and we've got pressure building up on this pawn here. I guess rook e1 is probably a good idea. This is probably turning into some sort of Roy Lopez style position, where one side is castled not yet and the other hasn't. I guess could you trade here? No,
I mean, there's no point.
there's no point. But I would probably then start thinking about taking this as well. But at least probably defend this as well. Move this rook over to defend this central pawn. That's pretty crucial to keep that. Long term, though, who do you see possibly gaining the upper hand in this, Harry?
I mean, is Leo's playing black, isn't he?
Yeah, he is
I
playing
mean,
as black.
Leo's position looks a lot more open than Chris's here because
So we saw d3 takes and takes. Now,
I mean,
yeah,
he's got a doubled up pawn.
yeah, it's not the best idea having these doubled up pawns, but it is, I guess, another central pawn. Just it's for you to use, and I guess you could probably pack this bishop here at some point. What do we see from Leo?
Did he move the bishop? Bishop h3.
Bishop h3. Ah, yeah. So now
Oh,
you cannot take this, and you do have the immediate threat of, not exactly threat of checkmate either.
I mean, he's fine. He's got the bishop.
But I guess you could start to force quite a lot of moves here. I think rook e1 looks a bit obvious, but what did he do instead? What was played instead there? So he moved the bishop back here, but what was played before? Ah, he moves the king to here, then he's gone back.
Uh-huh. Oh, that the eval bar did not like him moving that.
Where has he moved it back?
He moved it back there.
Yep, there. Which I'm not sure what this bishop is really doing. It can't go here. Maybe it could go here
The thing
and
is,
trade
though,
off, but no, it
he
can't.
couldn't go anywhere else. I mean, he could go back to he could go back to
Queen
d2, but
e2
not d8, d7.
and castling.
That's not really doing much either.
Yeah, because now this pawn just falls, and maybe this could start to be pushed at some point. I guess you could have moves such as rook e8 from Leo, just kicking this queen out the way, and then probably just slide it back somewhere and think about trading off. Actually, if you could probably take with this f pawn here and start to open up your f file. This pawn long term could be weak. You could move this bishop somewhere else here, funnily enough, to start to have some threats against that pawn. And even if he's not careful, Leo could have a fork against him. And he's unwilling to trade off right now, which I think that's probably why he's seen all these attacks and threats. But this does seem a bit scary long term, going after this pawn, if you could somehow open up this f-file.
I think Leo needs to be careful where he puts his rocks, or he could lead to a skewer. Maybe.
What are you looking at,
Is it a skewer?
anyways?
I think it is. I mean, if he moves his rook on the diagonal that his queen's on, he could get skewered.
Yeah. You're thinking
Yeah.
something like this, yeah,
Mm.
yeah. So if you think you could try and just double up these rooks here by putting them on these two squares here, yeah, you have this threat of this just coming here.
By the way, he moved his
Yeah,
rook to B1. Chris did.
rook to b1. I wonder what the. I guess probably it's to defend this just for now, while this bishop could probably start to chase away this queen somewhere else. But again, I don't know. This bishop is a bit annoying at some point because this could start to line up and go after this pawn, even though it's a bit like in the wrong side, if you will. Just you should be going after this king here that's moved to the side here. Somehow you could try and bring these rooks to the side in a way.
Was that H6?
Let me see, h6. Is he wanting to start a kingside attack, perhaps, with these pawns being pushed here? It's not a very good idea because you do open up your own king, but I don't know what he's doing. It could just be a waiting move after all, and yeah, to stop this idea here. We see b3. And yeah, we have another way of probably chasing away after this queen. It probably needs to get out of the way and become a bit more useful, I think. And it does, yeah. It restricts quite a lot of squares where this rook can come to. And maybe now, actually, this rook could actually come here to e7, and then you could start to think about doubling these rooks. And right now, do you really see much of an advantage for Chris right now as white? I mean, he is up 2 pawns. The evaluation bar is saying just almost +1. What do you think?
I mean, I think the pawns were probably what's giving him that advantage.
Yeah.
I mean, his pawn on what's it called D5. I mean, it's pretty like by itself. He could probably target it quite easily.
Okay, interesting.
Free
Now,
pawn there as well.
yeah, once that's moved up, yes, yeah, you could try and take this pawn here, but
It's not always a good
I don't think it is right now because yeah, you can start to. This can then get skewered. You could actually get skewered. It's a small skewer, but if you do take this pawn with your queen, this rook would come here. Your queen would have to move out the way, and eventually this pawn would get taken as well. And then you start to have threats of this rook here, all ganging up on this pawn here. Yeah, it's yes. We've got the background noises of younger students. Apologies if you've heard any of that. And I guess probably this is the way to go for it.
Mm.
Because unfortunately, there's no pawn to just push in front here and just stop this threat of this bishop taking this pawn here. Ooh, it's tricky. I think it gets interesting when you both sides have the bishop pair as well, and think who's using their bishops so quite more resourcefully in a way. Who do you think?
And I don't think Leo's got really much planned here with his dark squared bishop. He's just pointing at a pawn. There's not really much going on with it.
See, rook e7 is that was an
Defended pawn.
yeah, yeah, to defend this pawn at least.
Yeah, but that doesn't even defend it because he can still
Does it? Yeah,
take
he
it.
could still take, and you wouldn't take back with the rook, obviously. And I guess probably this move is a bit more flexible. You do have the option again of bringing this rook here, and I don't know what you could do with these double rooks because White's black rank here is just fully protected with these 2 rooks here. I'm not sure what you could do, to be honest. We do see Rook E1 trying to offer a trade.
Valuation by going down.
And then now, yet it's being doubled here. Now, do we take, perhaps? I think we do, yeah, because even after, let's say, Rook takes, or yes, it's Rook takes,
Now Leo gains control of file.
but then this pawn falls anyway, and you're up 3 pawns instead.
I think I would have taken with a queen, and then do a back rank mate.
Yeah. Interesting. We see at least H3, so it's probably a good idea. You could make some space for your king to stop any future checks if this does go eventually to an endgame.
I mean, it won't stop the checks. It'll stop
Yeah.
the check. Yeah.
We see G5. This is pretty wild from Leo. He's very brave opening up his king side right now.
We see the evaluation bar go back.
Yeah,
up.
it's going back up quite a lot. What are we suggesting? Probably, if you take this pawn right now, you could probably start to bring it back here, I guess, and attack this rook. And there's so many squares that are defended. So that's probably. I think we could see this taking this pawn. It should be quite obvious now. Being down 3 pawns in with this much material on the board, if we suddenly start to force an endgame.
Oh, he did. Oh, something must have happened because
Was this repeated or something?
no, he moved the pawn forward.
Forward again.
Yeah. Oh no, he can't. It's pinned, so he can't take the bishop.
Ah, yeah, that's a pretty good idea from him, but I don't like this possibility of this queen supporting this pawn being taken.
There could be a skewer there
Mm.
if he decides to take back with the pawn as well. I mean, if Chris, whatever, like
Yeah,
Leo doesn't
this
connect
this
with it,
pawn can't pretty much can't move. I guess you just have to throw it forward again and just hope for the best. But
this
this is weird. I don't like it. Because just moves ago. I mean, we saw here that I'm surprised he didn't take the pawn. It's a pretty simple move. Maybe he could try to be just a bit clever and trick Leo into something. We see king moving out the way,
that
which
still
is
gets
sort of an idea, but again,
yeah.
you just take the pawn now, which it happens.
If he takes back, there's a skewer.
It takes back with the
Oh,
Oh no,
pawn.
but if it,
No, you wait.
yeah, there would be a skewer.
yeah.
And then we see like this bar going up again. It's wildly in favor of white now. And it's saying just to move the queen, don't even capture anything. Don't capture this pawn, leave it alone. I think Leo's in trouble now. And we might see us going to tie breaks this Wednesday.
Moved it way over.
Wow, okay. What's he going for? I mean,
Gone for the pawn.
he's going for this here clearly, but what's that threat going to do? I mean, you have loads of options for white. It suggests, let's say, this queen h4. Yeah, this is probably a good idea. Queen h4, trying to uh, gang up on this pawn and threaten a few things. This pawn can be taken. See the king going back to it, g1.
That's an
It's
interesting move.
interesting, and it's still in favor in terms of like advantage for white. Again, this pawn is still, I guess, threatened perhaps, or maybe not. I don't think it is. It's defended sufficiently. You got 2 pieces here. If you do take this and you take back just with the rook, I guess. And there doesn't seem to be right now any only moves that really just it's a must to keep you in the game.
If you take the pawn, and I mean, there's possible chances of a checkmate on the next move.
We see c5. I mean, I thought Leo just brought his queen here to try and gang up on this pawn, but
Oh,
he's just thrown it forward and blocked the vision.
yeah.
Because now, I mean, You could just for the jokes take on Son, but you could probably push this forward again.
I would take. And then the only thing I guess you kind of do with the queen.
And again, yeah, the move that was suggested earlier, Queen H4, yeah, it's now a good idea. Because yes, you do start to threaten a lot of checks. This pawn cannot be taken because of this line of vision. Oof, it's tricky now. And I'm suggesting now that you've just moved this queen here, move it back.
Yeah. Then he could force a queen trade
Yeah, I
if he
guess.
doesn't move his queen.
Yeah, by just taking this pawn, I think, yeah. And now this pawn is just defended here. It's quite annoying. It could probably start to starve the king of a lot of space if he's not careful. Wait, and if we look at this as well, if you look on the camera, Leo's down to a minute on time. He needs to hurry up here. You've just moved the king. And remember, they only get 2 extra seconds per move. And the less time he thinks... Oh, let's see.
I think he took.
Pawn takes instead. So, again, yeah, you do this here. You have that threat. You have this threat as well. There's too much. There is way too much to like go against. Just can move back to f6. Yeah, after all, you sort of attack this just for now, and we see.
You could check.
Yeah, either just throw in the check right now, and where does it go? And or even the best move suggested by the computer, bishop g5, which keeps a lot of that advantage. Point is probably after that, the set of bishops gets taken off, you get a fork between the king and the rook. And the thing is as well, you can't move this bishop out the way,
Oh,
otherwise
he
you're...
took it.
Yeah, and
There
think
you
he's
go.
going to see it.
I bet he'll go move the king.
Check. Move, king
And
moves
then
to
he'll check
f8.
the queen.
And then this check here. And then I think you should probably know by now that you are in trouble. You're in deep trouble. Because this pawn can just start to be run down the board. And maybe this one as well. At some point. We're going the distance.
Yeah,
It's sensible. And it's very funny how... So king 8 is forced. But all the games with the white... Like, they've only won with the white pieces. We've just taken h7.
oh, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, he did it. Best move.
And Leo's just down on time anyways. And just throws this forward.
So check.
This is just
with the
last.
bishop. Yeah, you're gonna check with the bishop. Maybe. No? Okay.
Or just do something simple. Yeah, just give a check with the queen. This moves out the way. What a championship.
I'm hoping for no blunders.
I think let's just go to the live board itself and we can see how this will just unfold in the last few minutes.
What's happened?
We just stopped the analysis. I think, yeah. You might realize soon, but you might have a few threats, actually.
His queen is way deep in his position. As a check.
So you check. King moves back.
Moves back. He's got an undefended rook.
Yeah, which is a bit scary right now, but...
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Wait.
Ooh. Can't he check him? To take his pawn and then he can.
Yeah, you can.
He can, and then he loses a rook. No? No, oh no, he can't take the pawn. Sorry, the queen's defending.
Yeah,
If the queen wasn't defending, that would have been a.
Yeah, and he's lost on time. Chris wins the fourth and final game and saves it. We go to tie breaks for this Wednesday.
If you can check my save, I'll give you a 10. Can't. There you go. I've run on here or something. I've given up. What about that stops a lot of checks.
Is he down 4 pawns by the top?
Yeah, he was down 4 pawns and he lost the bishop and it just all
Yeah,
started to fall.
probably.
Just giving up so much. I think too many pawns.
Yeah.
We just go back through.
Oh no, because that still leads anyway. Yeah. And then
I think they're setting it back up again.
I'd go up again. You'd go up here. Yeah. I don't know, I'd say it can be a bishop up. Yeah. Hang on here. I know you wouldn't push it again. I'd go, yeah. That makes a lot more sense. It's your three. And the king's tried to out something. Yeah. I generally try. I was thinking at some point. I was thinking there's got to be a brilliant move somewhere. Because those fucking Instagram reels where they're like, "Oh wow, it's brilliant." Make it. No.
Did I hear a swear?
I think we heard them swearing. I think Leo it was just Leo. It's a Leo thing, unfortunately. Yeah. Of course it's Leo swearing. I think, yeah, let's probably get them in here for a quick interview.
We can be late.
That was quite a long game and quite, yeah, I don't know.
I guess we got to see another game.
Yeah. I think we'll just stay in here. We can go into a bit of form time as well.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, there's not. No, it's not mine. The computer's one did work last time. No.
Right, let's just wait for them. Well, what's your thoughts on it? Let's start with you, Emily. What were your thoughts on this game, just overall, how it panned out?
Chris managed to keep the advantage. Mostly, I didn't see a lot of moves that you could expect him to see.
Right. Well, okay.
When did I fuck up?
Okay, so
What
please, okay, first, Leo, can you refrain from swearing live on stream?
I will
And
say
try not.
slur.
Okay, you will get this channel taken down, unfortunately, if you keep on doing this and it gets detected somehow.
What, my
Now-
brilliant chess game, boy?
Right. Okay, let's start with you, Leo, then. Well, thoughts on the game?
I will smite you. Yeah.
Thoughts on the game? To speak a bit closer to this.
Bad.
Any other elaboration?
Really?
Chris won.
And what are you going to do now? We go to a tiebreak. How much time do you think you would bid?
I'll kill myself.
We hope that Leo is not being too serious. He did. This was a game you could have won to just win the championship, but you do have several more chances. Chris has to just win the rest of the games after all.
Like 3.
Yeah. Now, Chris, yeah. Well, your thoughts. How happy are you with this game?
What, me?
Yes.
I'll take it. I did say last time that I would win. That was my strategy, just to win, and it worked. So do it next time as well.
All right.
I'll win.
Now, with the Armageddon games and how the games have been turning out so far,
You've won all your
everyone's, yeah. You've only won with white, so would you probably take into consideration like how much time you might want to bid? Like, would you go for the draw odds with black, or would you just like to stick with your luck with white pieces,
I
perhaps?
will not be discussing strategy with the other player in the room.
I, however, will be a
Okay, strategies. Then, Leo.
mass terrorism in Minecraft.
Okay, right. So there we have it, everyone. So after 4 games, the score is now tied at 2-2. We go to an Armageddon game this Wednesday. If that gets won by Chris, then we go to a reset match. Just a single game, just like one of these, where it's a sudden death. And if that gets drawn, yet another Armageddon game. We'll see you all on Wednesday.